Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for April 11th, 2025. We have got a Nocturne, Rising Sun, and Corngild's Kingdom. And we've got Remake Trashing. The draw is Hunting Party, Litter, Imperial Envoy, Shepherd, Poet. That's a lot of draw. We do have Sickness, which is pretty rough. Imperial Envoy is the only plus buy. I don't think I did. Yeah, okay, there we go. And so yeah, there's potentially like a lot of debt that you're taking on to draw and get the buys between Litter and Imperial Envoy, since Litter is the plus actions. So what is really like the payload here? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, what you could do maybe is go light on that stuff and do some Shepherd draw as well. All of the non-terminal draw will help with. All the other non-terminal draw will help with Shepherd, like build up the hand size, and then you can draw big with Shepherd. So the point being that, like, rather than ramping payload to be able to get like big multi-province turns, maybe you start greening relatively early. It just looks rough to get a lot of money here is what I'm seeing. But if you have like a couple hunting parties and some poets, that will definitely help with the Shepherd stuff. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I guess, the early remake estates into silvers, I guess, is a thing. It isn't amazing, and especially with Shepherd on the board, but it's something. Potentially you can pick up like some cheaper cards and then remake them into more expensive payload, but it's a pretty clunky way to go. Maybe you just gotta buy a bunch of treasures. I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to see not wanting to take a remake, because having all the coppers in your deck doesn't seem great. Although Hunting Party definitely does help with that in a big way, and so does Poet. So I guess you could. Another thing we could do is open with a Night Watchman, and then we trigger a shuffle that has, this hand plus our 4-cost opener. If our goal is to just remake into silvers, that works. Alternatively, if we want to go for the Shepherd thing, we'd get to draw a significant amount of cards off of that, although, yeah, I guess if we were trying to hit 5, we'd be able to do that reasonably quickly, and then maybe like a Tormentor as a first 5, because then you can like you get maybe you get an imp or two off of it, and then you can also turn that into payload effectively, or I mean, it is payload. Yeah, I'm a little. The other thing about remake is it does give us extra gains. In a way, you know, in the late game, turning 4s into duchies in particular. So having one around for that is nice, and we'd want to have some 4s anyway with between Poet and Shepherd. But on the other hand, a couple of duchies isn't worth much more than a couple of estates. Yeah, this is a difficult one. Actually, the other thing we could do, potentially... Well, there's also sickness. So, we really... Yeah, we really can't skip remake, can we? Because of sickness. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Sorry, this is taking me a long time to work through, but... there's still an argument for not immediately getting remake and just trying to hit 5. But I think we'll still need to get one because of sickness. So what happens if we go Poet Night Watchman? It's not like we can guarantee that we would get to discard the estate, but and it's not like we would guarantee that we'd get to hit 5 either. Poet, and I guess the same thing is kind of true of Shepherd. Like we wouldn't necessarily want to discard the estate, and if we don't like we discard a copper, we have 2 coins, then we discard 4 cards, drawing into the 4 coppers and 2 estates. We would, at worst we'd hit 4, but we could end up hitting 4. There's not like really any way to like guarantee it. It is pretty likely that we hit 5 with Shepherd. It's not guaranteed. Poet, it's maybe a little bit less likely. Excuse me. We could also just go like Poet Silver, not do the Night Watchman thing. Try to hit double 5, which would be probably like, you know, Tormentor Hunting Party or something like that. Yeah. Or we could get the remake and go ahead and trash our estates. We get the remake. We're gonna get the Night Watchman. We can remake the Night Watchman at some point too. We'd be aiming to do remake. Well, actually, that's interesting. Like, with this hand, yeah, if we keep an estate to remake it, we don't end up with enough money to buy, like, another silver or anything. We could potentially end up buying another estate, or we could just trash some coppers and buy an estate. Buying an estate at that point would be pretty weird, but, yeah. I really don't know how to approach this. I am very ambivalent here. I think I'm gonna go with Shepherd Night Watchman. Okay, so I'm gonna discard. I mean, we could opt to keep the copper on top, increase our odds of hitting 5. Maybe that is the play, actually. I wasn't thinking about the fact that we would put these into our shuffle for some reason. All right. Do we want... I do kind of want the Tormentor, but on the other hand, I also could really use like a hunting party to find the Shepherd. I think I'm going to take the Tormentor. Yeah, now we're going to have this hand. Which, do we even play the Night Watchman? Like, it's fine if we can get rid of the Shepherd. I guess even if we can't, it's probably fine. Yeah. So if we have Tormentor, 3 coppers, and Shepherd, we have 5. So Tormentor, Shepherd, copper, copper, copper. We discard these 3. And now we get the hunting party. Ooh, nice. All right. Do we get another hunting party, or do we want to get a litter with an eye towards getting a remake, with an eye towards sickness getting activated? Maybe we should go ahead and take the litter now. We're gonna need it, and we're like reasonably well set up for our draw next turn anyway. Poet to Idol. Huh. Okay, so we discarded 2 coppers and 2 estates. We have the Night Watchman down there, so I guess it's fine to just go ahead and full go here. We got 3 estates, 2 coppers on top. Yeah, okay. We could take an Imperial Envoy now. We're gonna have trouble having enough money to make that plus buy do work. Right? Like we have, this is all but one of our coins, so we could have had 8 coins if we'd drawn the other copper. We take an envoy, and now that like costs us 2 coins. I think we could also take a gold. I don't think that's crazy. And then and then take the Imperial Envoy, and then start taking more hunting parties and or shepherds. Yeah, the AI still is not like pressuring us to take the remake yet, so they are taking a lot of poets, but they aren't playing them. Nice. We didn't get... Oh, right, we don't have the plus buy yet. Yeah, we gotta take the Imperial Envoy. Okay. Yeah. Okay, do we leave it on top? It's an interesting question. We've only got the 1+ action in our deck, but I think it's still fine to leave it on top. Okay, how many poets did they play? A bunch. Alright, we gotta get the remake now. What do we have down there? We have an estate and a copper. Okay. So I gotta get the remake. We don't have the actions to play all of our terminals now, so I think we need another litter. And then we can go back to hunting parties. You can top deck the litter. Probably not the remake. Alright, we'll just gain curse. I think that's fine. Do we want to trash a copper or an estate? I have 4 debt, or 2 debt, 10 coins, 9 coins. 9 coins is fine. Seven coins. I can't math. That's fine too, I guess. Let's go like... Poet Silver? I think we're just doing that again. We're gonna fail to draw this turn? We are. We are. Alright, I think this is another hunting party. So this is discard down to discard 3 cards, right? Yeah. We could consider discard 3 here and we get to play, but meh. Okay, does order matter here? Not sure. It's too complicated. I think we're just remaking curses. I don't think we'd need to try to gain and play anything, so... Nice. Okay. I would like another hunting party. Do we want to just take draw with Poet, or do we want to get a silver? We're going to get to top deck the hunting party. I think we take the silver and try to continue to up our payload a bit. This is almost a turn for taking the discard. The problem is, if I could keep both, like if I could keep Copper Estate, I would, but... Okay, well, fine. Let's get another hunting party. What about here? 2 hunting parties? Enough? Yeah, I don't love it. Not ideal. Okay. Well, if we did want to gain and play with this remake, we could do it. I'm just not sure again what we would do with it. Like I don't want to get rid of the Night Watchman, so well also there's not like gain and play 4 cost isn't really useful anyway. Alrighty. At some point we're gonna want to gain more shepherds, but top decking hunting party is kind of good. Almost done with these curses. Uh-oh. Maybe we should go ahead and take a province. I mean, we've got the shepherds, or the shepherd in the deck, and we can add more. I think it's fine. No more curses. This turn is looking a little rough, though. I mean, there are a lot of hunting parties down here. Okay. Yeah, okay, we're going. I, again, think we're just trashing Copper Curse. Oh! We had a hunting party on top? Oops. That's a good hit. We've got a big points lead and piles are low. Like, we could just... Not that low, but like... We could just go double hunting party and top deck them both and not bother to I guess, I mean, it would be nice to get some more payload. We could go Poet, Gold, Hunting Party, Silver. 13 coins in the deck would be pretty useful. I guess let's do Poet Gold. Diluted. All right, well. Do we even want to play Remake at this point? Because we could, if we don't play it, then we don't need to play this litter. These are neutral coin-wise, so we'd have 6, 9, 15, 16, 17, 18, 17. Litter would get us down to 16. I mean, and then this trashing these would take us down to 14. I mean, it would be nice to not have any copper in our deck, I guess. Just do the math on this again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. 0, and then 5, 11. Okay, we'd have 11 if we trashed. I think I counted that wrong before. Oh, worth noting that we can't buy action cards. So that Could also consider turning this Tormentor into a gold right now, actually. How much do we care about playing a Hex every turn? I don't know. But, like, Litter Tormentor into double gold is a substantial amount of payload. More than we need to hit double province. But that would mean we could trash the coppers the next turn. Or we could do it the other way around and trash the coppers now and do the double gold thing next turn. Might make more sense. I guess if we just buy, if all we want to do is buy province, we don't need to play the Imperial Envoy. Okay, I think I'm going to commit to playing the Tormentor. So let's see about that. Okay, so we have 12 coins. Oh no, wait. 14 coins. Sorry, no. 1, 2, 14 right now. Play the Imperial Envoy, then we have 12. play the remake, then we have 12, but no plus buy. Play the litter and the Imperial Envoy and the remake, then we have 3, 1, 2, 1, 11. So we could get another silver, essentially. Yeah, alright. I think that's actually fine. Okay. We discarded a lot of stuff there, huh? Okay, so now, once again, we could do remake Litter Tormentor into double gold. We have 3 debt. That is an estate, so that doesn't matter. 3 debt. 6, 7. 8 is 15. Minus 3 is 12. Plus 6 is 18. Wouldn't really be able to take advantage of the plus buy. Yeah. If we just play Imperial Envoy Tormentor, that's a wash, and that's a wash, and we have 8 and 6, 14. And we can go like Province Hunting Party and top deck the Hunting Party, which, like, I mean, we do probably want to get to a point where we can double Province, but I mean, I guess there's also the consideration of trying to take 4s to remake into duchies. We could just buy a duchy, though. I mean, it's just not clear to me how much the value of the hexing really is. That's what it comes down to. I actually think what I'm gonna do. Oh no, wait, we're gonna have to play the Imperial Envoy for plus buy anyway. Never mind. I was gonna say, oh, I'm gonna do something clever and like get a Shepherd and top deck it with multiple green cards because you have this estate down here. But no, we're gonna draw it anyway. Never mind. I mean, there's only a couple turns of double provincing left if we go for that. We probably should just go for that. It just doesn't feel as fun as like gaining other stuff, but it'll probably be pretty effective. Irrelevant omens. Bitter to gold. They need to be gaining duchies. Well, they can't actually afford double province. Wow. A lot of debt. Well, neither can I. That's fine. We are not going to assume that we see that shepherd. Discard an action or a treasure. Well, right now, I mean, we did just discard a couple green cards. I do think maybe actually Shepherd is the most discardable thing. And we got a bunch of hunting parties to find it again. Once and two duchies. Okay. Surely doesn't matter here. I think our shepherd might draw some cards. Didn't actually draw the deck though. So it's interesting because I talked so much about shepherd draw at the beginning, and then I got one shepherd. But I'm pretty happy with how I played this. I think like the idea that we didn't need to go straight for remake seemed pretty correct. Like Night Watchman normally isn't this like consistent. And of course, near the end of the game, I didn't end up playing the Night Watchman much once I was like fully in the greening phase. But there was like a big stretch of the game where we were using Night Watchman a lot to like top deck our purchases and things like that, and it was doing good work. And the I think the early setup to hit 5 was good. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this went. I think it was like their biggest turn was here, where they had like 25 coins maybe before paying off debt. I didn't see how much they had after paying off debt because it like went by too fast, but I think it was 25 before paying off debt, so 19, so barely over double province money, and then you got province double duchy, which again, that was like what I was anticipating, right? Is like the payload ramp here is really slow. And so, like, aggressively trashing your coppers isn't necessarily going to help you too much. And it was nice to get the early imp without having to have a 5/2 to, like, open Tormentor. And then, like, getting the early hunting party as well for the cycling. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not going to say I played it perfectly, but it felt like not necessarily like I correctly identified exactly what to do, but like my sort of like high level assessment of the board was pretty accurate in terms of why I was considering doing the things that I was considering. So yeah. And I just think it was pretty interesting board from that perspective. Like, definitely made me think. Obviously, it took me forever to to get started. I was really mulling that over. Would have been quite different if we'd had a 3/4. It just occurs to me. Like, I didn't spend any time thinking about that, and I shouldn't have. So, that's good. But yeah, if we'd had a 3/4, then we wouldn't have been able to open with like 4 into Night Watchman, and that would have been a very different situation. I think in that case, I probably would have gone Poet Silver, or Silver Poet, I guess. I mean, you could still argue for the Shepherd, but I don't know. I think I would go with the Poet. Although the problem there is, like, if you're opening Poet, right? Then you're pushing Sickness without having picked up a remake. Yeah, see, I am glad I had the 4-3. Very glad about that. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.